In Parliament, Union Finance Minister Arun Jaitley attacked the Congress Party President Rahul Gandhi on the issue of price, process and offsets. He relied on the Supreme Court judgment extensively. Just a short while back, the Congress Party President Rahul Gandhi hit back, challenging Prime Minister Narendra Modi to a 20-minute debate on Rafale, insisting that he was a pilot and that he knew his facts. Rahul Gandhi also reiterated his charge about rules being flouted to benefit Anil Ambani in the Rafale deal.
I would very much like to debate the Prime Minister one-on-one on Rafale, on anything about combat aircrafts, any strategic issue. I'd like to discuss one-on-one with him. Just give me 20 minutes with the Prime Minister, debate one-on-one on Rafale, and then you decide what is what. But the Prime Minister does not have the guts. Forget, he doesn't have the guts to come and sit in front of you. I am coming here. You can ask me, आप मुझसे कोई भी सवाल पूछ सकते हैं. मैं आता हूं, हर 7-10 दिन आता हूं, आप मुझसे पूछते हैं, आपको खुशी होती है कि भैया हम खुल के सवाल पूछ सकते हैं. आपने कल प्रधानमंत्री का इंटरव्यू देखा आपने, हंस रहे हैं. मतलब प्लायबल जर्नलिस्ट, वो क्वेश्चन भी कर रही थी, प्रधानमंत्री के आंसर भी दे रही थी साइड में.
In Parliament, leading the Congress charge, Rahul Gandhi raised questions about the process, prices and what he termed was paisa patronage in the Rafale deal. He began by raising the question, why were only 36 aircraft procured when the Indian Air Force requirement was of 126 aircraft? He also asked whether the IAF was on board and whether due process was followed. Union Finance Minister Arun Jaitley led the government's counter-attack. He launched a swift counter-attack on the Congress, and this was a personal attack where Arun Jaitley insisted Rahul Gandhi knew little about combat aircraft and procedures. In a sharp personal attack, Arun Jaitley said Congress was desperate to manufacture a scam since the first family of the Congress was linked to 3 alleged scams.
The price of the aircraft under the New Deal went from 526 crores to 1600 crores. So the next question to the Prime Minister is, why did the price go from 526 crores to 1600 crores?
This is what I have publicly referred to as an arithmetic which a kindergarten child understands. एक 500 का था जो हम ला रहे थे, जो ये लाए वो 1600 का है. It only shows, and it's a tragedy for this country, that the grand old party of Indian politics, the Congress party, which has in the past been headed by great legends, is today headed by a gentleman who doesn't even have a basic understanding of what a combat aircraft is. और इसके पीछे कारण है, ये 500 बनाम 1600 का जो तर्क है, ये बहुत सादगी का तर्क है. और उसका कारण ये है कि इस देश में कुछ लोग और कुछ परिवार ऐसे हैं जिनको पैसे का गणित समझ आता है, देश की सुरक्षा के साथ जुड़े हुए मुद्दे में.
The Congress president's first attack was on the number of aircraft procured. If the number required by the Indian Air Force was 126 combat aircraft, why was the falling fighter squadron strength? Why did the Prime Minister go only for 36? Let's listen into the Congress's attack and the government's defense in Lok Sabha.
Why was the demand for 126 aircraft changed to 36 aircraft? Who changed? Who changed the requirement of the Air Force from 126 to 36? Did something change with the requirement of national security? Did the Air Force request the government? Did the Air Force ask the government, tell the government that no, we do not want 126 planes, we want only 36 planes?
मैं जब पहली बार एयरफोर्स के अधिकारियों से मिला तो एयरफोर्स के अधिकारियों ने जो पहली प्रेजेंटेशन मुझे दी कि हमारे दुश्मनों के पास 400 ऐसे कॉम्बैट जहाज हैं, हमारी स्क्वाड्रन स्ट्रेंथ कम हो रही है और ये आवश्यक है कि हमें तुरंत ये चाहिए।
On the floor of the House, Rahul Gandhi repeatedly named Anil Ambani as a beneficiary of the Rafale deal. When Speaker Sumitra Mahajan told him not to name a person not present on the floor of the House, Rahul Gandhi, tongue firmly in cheek, asked if he could be called double A. When Finance Minister rose to speak, he hit back in kind, and instead of naming that controversial arms dealer Ottavio Quattrocchi in the proposed scam, he asked if just saying Q would suffice.
मैम क्या मैं कॉल हिम डबल ए
पढ़ी है राहुल जी, ऐसा नहीं
मैम डबल ए
बोल रही हूँ, मैं रूल के हिसाब से बोल रही हूँ ना, ऐसा मैं मेरी
मैम डबल ए भी नहीं कह सकता
वो जो आप
मैम डबल ए
ये मुझे पूछ के मत बोलो प्लीज, डोंट डू दैट।
तो डबल ए को कॉन्ट्रैक्ट दिया गया और पूरे के पूरे फ्रांस में हवाई जहाज बनेंगे। यहाँ जो युवा आए हैं इनके भी हाथों से रोजगार छीना गया। मेक इन इंडिया की बात हुई, बट राफेल मामले में दुनिया का एक सबसे बड़ा डिफेंस कॉन्ट्रैक्ट मेड इन फ्रांस हुआ, नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने करवाया।
Madam, since my friend laid down a precedent to say that no names can be taken but abbreviations can be used, when he was a young man, was he playing in the lap of one Q? About whom, in the Bofors case, the CEO of Nobel Industries, which manufactured the Bofors gun, had in his diary written, Q must be protected at all cost. And subsequently, the bank account in favor of Q was discovered.
Until the end, Rahul Gandhi insisted on a JPC investigation for truth to emerge. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley relied extensively on the Supreme Court verdict to say once the Apex Court had weighed in and decided on the issue of prices, process and offsets, there was no need for a JPC.
We demand a JPC in this matter. बीजेपी के नेताओं से मैं कहता हूं, डरने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है। जेपीसी लागू कीजिए, दूध का दूध, पानी का पानी हो जाएगा।
इस संसद ने बोफोर्स के लिए, बोफोर्स की जांच के लिए, कांग्रेस पार्टी पावर में थी, एक शंकरानंद जी की चेयरमैनशिप में जेपीसी बनाई थी। अब तो साबित हो गया कि बोफोर्स में कमीशन मिले, खाते पता चल गए, वो सारे सरकार के रिकॉर्ड पे हैं, सीबीआई के रिकॉर्ड पे हैं, करप्शन हुआ। पर जेपीसी ने क्या कहा था, शंकरानंद जी की जेपीसी ने, दीज आर नॉट किकबैक्स, दीज आर वाइंडिंग अप चार्जेस। The JPC whitewashed the whole allegation of corruption. That JPC was a fraud on the parliamentary process. And this JPC is being sought by those who represent the legacy of Bofors to indulge in another fraud. The reason being, because our hands are soaked in corruption, you are a clean government, let me invent an allegation of corruption against you.
So in the run-up to the 2019 elections, the Rafale dogfight is becoming downright personal and intense. But is truth a casualty? On India First, our attempt is to get you facts. Let's get started by introducing our guests. Air Marshal P.K. Barbara is the former Vice Chief of Air Staff. Dr. Sambit Patra represents the BJP. Muhammad Khan represents the Congress. Sambit Patra, Rahul Gandhi has challenged Prime Minister Narendra Modi for a one-on-one 20-minute debate. He says the Prime Minister lacks the guts to debate facts on Rafale.
And Rahul Gandhi lacks seriousness. I mean, all of us who are sitting on this panel are young people, and let me tell you what in fact pained me today the most. While I was watching this debate in Parliament, I was astonished that people sitting behind Mr. Rahul Gandhi, the Congress Member of Parliament, they were busy making paper aircrafts, कागज के जो aircrafts होते हैं, and they were throwing it across the parliament. Is this seriousness on an issue of this gravity? We watched Mr. Rahul Gandhi's press conference also today. There were laughing riots in Rahul Gandhi's press conference. Astonishingly, Mr. Gaurav Sawant, Mr. Rahul Gandhi or his party, the Congress party, does not take the issue of Rafale seriously because they know, as far as the truth is concerned, they are quite compromised on that. Supreme Court, in fact, Mr. Rahul Gandhi got up today and said that there are 3 important issues. On 3 pillars, the Rafale issues
Sir,
stand.
let's take this one by one. Let me bring in Mohammad Khan because you've leveled a very grave charge. Grave charge that Congress lacks seriousness. They were throwing paper planes on the floor of the House. Mohammad Khan, that's a grave charge. This is an issue of national security and aircraft that the Indian Air Force desperately requires. Is this just a political stunt for the Congress? Finance Minister Arun Jaitley says he wasn't impressed with Rahul Gandhi's attack. He claims there were no facts. All issues raised by Rahul Gandhi have already been addressed by the Supreme Court.
Right. Gaurav, let's get straight to brass tacks. This Supreme Court judgment that they're relying on has been obtained as a result of fraud. There are 3 facts in that judgment which are not facts. They have lied about a non-existent CAG report. We brought the PAC chairman in front of you, Mr. Kharge. He denied ever having a report. They rushed to correct it and said it was a typographical error. The second thing they misled the Supreme Court on was they said that Ambani ke saath 2012 se arrangement tha. That was the word used in the judgment. But that was Mukesh Ambani and this is Anil Ambani. Why did the government mislead the Supreme Court in this regard, knowing this was a falsehood? Number 3, they said there was no serious relationship with HAL. But we have all the work share agreements. We saw the statements between the CEO and the chairman of HAL. We saw all the work that had been done and we put it in the public domain.
I'll come to facts because I will rely on what the Supreme Court said on that aspect.
आप बात करते हैं seriousness की. आप बात करते हैं seriousness की.
जी.
Can I just finish my point?
Please.
Yeah, I'll just simply say this. संबित पात्रा जी बात करते हैं seriousness की यहाँ बैठ के. Sir, मुझे बड़ा दुख हुआ आज. Mr. Jaitley, who I used to look up to as one of the finest counsels, today completely betrayed whatever legal standing he had. He knows for a fact, आपकी सरकार थी 2004 में. फरवरी 2004 में बोफोर्स का फैसला आया था संबित जी आपकी सरकार के दौरान exonerating राजीव गांधी जी claiming all these charges
I'll come to Bofors in a moment and Sambit Patra to respond to this aspect. I want to stay on facts of Rafale for the duration of the broadcast today. I have limited time, but Air Marshal Barbara, Indian Air Force needs 126 aircraft. Indian Air Force needs 126 aircraft. This government procured 36. Was the Indian Air Force on board this decision of procuring 36 instead of 126 as a stopgap arrangement?
Well, let's start by saying that the initial requirements of the Air Force for 126 aircraft was made in early 2000s and put up to the government. That was to meet up at the future, because 126 aircraft cannot come tomorrow.
Yes.
126 aircraft deal was called off. It took almost 10 years. Okay? It takes a long time.
Yes.
So we were desperate. Our squadrons were dwindling. And when we found in around 2012-13 that the 126 aircraft deal is not going through because of various reasons, and one of the major reasons, please let me tell you, was that HAL man hours required was 2.7 times more than Dassault.
Yes.
To produce one aircraft. The timelines they could not meet. They stated it very categorically, please, what I have come to know.
Mohammad Khan, that should answer your question. That work-share agreement that you say with Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, that was almost done. No, sir. That was not done. And here is the Vice Chief of the Indian Air Force telling you that.
Even assuming that argument is correct. No. Gaurav, if that argument is correct, then are you saying Anil Ambani Reliance, which was formed 15 days after Mr. Modi's announcement, was far more qualified? That makes no sense. HAL is a 70-year-old company. They weren't qualified by your argument, and surely by extension of that argument, Anil Ambani was far less qualified.
Anil Ambani is not manufacturing the Rafale aircraft. Anil Ambani is not manufacturing Rafale aircraft.
Anil Ambani, please listen.
Yes, Air Marshal.
Please listen. Anil Ambani is in the offset.
Which is the plum part of the deal.
And Dassault offset group for this 36 aircraft won't produce a pin for these 36 aircraft. They won't produce a pin. So offset is a different deal. So don't bring in Anil Ambani every time. Every time you bring up all this
to HAL, why take them away from a government company and give them to a private company?
Finance Minister Arun Jaitley said 1,600 crore per aircraft was for a fully loaded, weaponized aircraft. Rahul Gandhi quoted the August 2007 RFP to claim that 526 crore per aircraft was also, according to Rahul Gandhi, for a fully loaded machine. If facts have to emerge, it can only happen through JPC or courts.
I mean, very simplistically put, I would ask Mr. Rahul Gandhi, if you were getting the aircraft at a very cheap price of 526 crore rupees, as you say, for the fully loaded aircraft, why the criminal negligence of not procuring them? Why you had time of 10 years? Why didn't you procure them? Why only debating on the floor of parliament? Why only giving out political rhetorics? You should have immediately procured them. Now you have to understand one thing. The allegation over here was that the Supreme Court delivered a judgment based on fraud by the Indian government. I'm astonished that we can undermine the Supreme Court's wisdom to an extent where the Supreme Court is put into a corner. Rahul, Gaurav, you would agree to the fact that Supreme Court of India is one of the foremost courts in the whole world. No one can mislead the court, number one. Number two, Mr. Rahul Gandhi got up today and said that the three pillars on which the whole debate stands is the pillar of procurement, the price and commercial favoritism. On all the three aspects in the concluding paragraph of Supreme Court, what does the court say? The court says that we have delved in detail into all the three aspects and we find that there is nothing wrong in it, nothing amiss in it, and that's why there is no need for a roving investigation.
Okay.
Only perception of a few individual cannot guide us to do the same.
Mohammed
the most
Khan,
important
please
issue
respond,
as far as
sir.
Anil Ambani is concerned. Just a second.
Okay.
As far as Anil Ambani is concerned, what does the Supreme Court say? We do not find any substantial material on record to show that this is a case of commercial favoritism to any party by the Indian government, as the option to choose the IOP does not rest with the Indian government. Now tell me, who should I take seriously? A kindergarten Mr. Rahul Gandhi or the Supreme Court of India, the three judges of the Supreme Court of India, including the Chief Justice of India?
Mohammed Khan, please respond, because on the issue of prices, the Supreme Court is very clear. Read point 26, which very clearly says that they've closely examined this issue. So has the point of comparison come up, along with escalation cost. Mohammed Khan, government claims, this is what the Supreme Court is saying, government claims that it has an advantage, and the Supreme Court says no more, as the material has to be kept in the confidential domain. So why would Rahul Gandhi or the Congress party want something which is in the confidential domain, could be detrimental to national security, come out in public domain? Would that not, sir, be of an advantage to the adversary?
Well, Gaurav, I would answer this simply. You have so little faith in your parliamentary colleagues that you wouldn't even hold an inquiry in-house. You have so little faith in your parliamentary colleagues that you didn't even bother to call the opposition and discuss this with us, because we have extended this courtesy to you a number of times and history records it, sir. I would say this. There are so many questions today. There's a question about why you bought fewer jets for a higher price. There's a question of why you bought an Anil Ambani, even if for offsets, as Marshal Sahab says. Then why would you bring them in and not HAL?
But HAL is also a part of the offsets. HAL is also a part of the offsets.
Yes, but a minor, very minor part now, almost negligible.
Okay, Air Marshal Barbara wants...
You gave him uninterrupted time.
Let me get Air Marshal Barbara, because he was the Vice Chief of the Air Staff. It was his office that set the ball rolling on the aircraft deal. Sir, top Indian Air Force officers insist that this deal, this new deal, is more bang for the buck. Is this true? Are there aspects that need to be kept confidential? And is bringing pricing in public domain on the aspects that even the Supreme Court says some need to be kept in secret, is it detrimental to national security?
Look, it is very clear in my mind, Mr. Khan, please understand what is an offset deal. And I don't think you are very clear about it.
So I am well aware of what is an offset.
I am given to understand.
Sir, we are very clear about what is an offset.
I am sorry,
respect, sir. We are very well aware of what the offsets are. We are aware of what the 2011
Mr. Khan, Mohammed Khan, kindly let the Air Marshal speak. Sir, no heckling on my show. You know that. You know that. Everybody gets an opportunity, an equal opportunity to speak.
But Gaurav, then let me finish. You're never letting me finish. You're giving me 15 seconds apiece.
Okay, you go first quickly. and then Air Marshal Barbara.
I only have this to say. मार्शल साहब बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद मेरी बात सुनने के लिए. मैं बस इतना कहूंगा, देखिए ये लोग की जो झिझक है, अगर हम इनकी जगह होते, जैसे हम रहे हैं, जब भी इन्होंने मांग की है, we have immediately given in to the JPC, immediately without questions asked. It is the fact that they have something to hide, Marshal Saab. Marshal Saab, we are fully aware of what a great aircraft the Rafale is, which is why we entrusted the aircraft, the Air Force to make that choice, which is why the process was set up. It was so simple, they just had to finish the process, but they didn't. They altered it without following procedures. They altered it in a fashion that was adversarial and prejudicial to the Indian interest, and they brought in a private player. And so finally, I have limited time. When the French president says they were forced to bring in Anil Ambani, sir, that should alone ring bells.
Air Marshal Barbara.
Like, okay, although Mr. Khan, I do not want to politicize this issue at all. I am going to talk purely from the aircraft point of view and the decisions that were made or not made. The previous government did not make the decision of buying this 126 aircraft the way it was proposed, and believe you me, your defense minister at that time had put it down in writing. I agree, but review. Nothing was happening in 10 years for the Indian Air Force to get another aircraft. We should have taken another 10 more years. We were suffering badly. National security was suffering. We wanted aircraft, and this government who came into power for reasons understood why we are in such a desperate situation and said we will get you certain number of aircraft in a flyaway condition. At least that will not deplete you. You can keep nodding your head, but that is a national security issue and not a political issue. Don't
Air Marshal Saab, what you are saying is a statement of opinion. It is not fact. It is not borne out by the record.
Sambit Patra, Rahul Gandhi claims there are many holes in the government story. He says dal mein kuch kala nahi, dal hi kali hai, reiterating that Anil Ambani got benefits to a tune of 30,000 crore. Please clarify on this aspect, sir.
See, the irony over here is, I mean, we have to teach Mr. Rahul Gandhi simple arithmetic also.
In their annual report, they put up.
Can I please speak? Rahul, it is not Mr. Khan's lone stand over here. We all have been called as guests. I believe we all deserve to speak over here.
I let you speak without interruption. Please let Sambit Patra speak without interruption. If I have time, I will come back to you, sir.
Gaurav, you have to understand that we are not we have not been put into service to make Mr. Rahul Gandhi realize simple mathematics. If the old Rafale deal is worth 58,000 crore, 50% of which goes as offset, sets out to be 29,000 crore. 3 to 4% of which comes to somewhere around 700 to 800 crores, which goes to the Anil Ambani's company. Not for manufacturing the aircraft as claimed by a non-serious and probably a kindergarten childish Mr. Rahul Gandhi. So I firmly believe a person who is only fighting for the sake of fighting with all kind of
can we have no interruption because heckling will not get any results. I will give the last word. I will give the last word. I will give the last word to Air Marshal Barbara. Air Marshal Barbara, I'm running out of time, but I really want to understand from you, is this deal kosher according to you? You've read the Supreme Court verdict. Are these aircraft required in the manner in which they're coming, sir?
Not only they are coming in a fully weaponized state with the assurances of 75% serviceability and availability, but Indian Air Force, for the sake of this country, requires another 100 plus aircraft. Mr. Khan, please do not put barriers on the road to preventing the national security.
Okay. Well, the first aircraft in flyaway condition will come in 2019 and will continue to come till 2022. God forbid, unless this goes the Bofors way and modernization is impacted. On India First, we will continue to bring you facts on this case. To all my guests, many thanks for joining me. But this fight will only get more intense in the days and weeks to come. And we will continue to get you facts on the Rafale deal. That is all I have time for on India First this evening. Many thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.